The fantastic climate, cultural diversity, social life, food, amongst many other things in Spain make it a really attractive destination for many people to come to, including people who run an online or digital business or who maybe work for themselves as a sole trader. Now, if you're in that last group of people and you're thinking about coming to Spain to work as a sole trader or to run your business from here, in this video, I'm going to break down a little bit about how the tax system and social security system works if you're an autónomo, which is the term for sole trader, here in Spain. So let's get right into the video. Welcome to Millennials of Money. My name is Johnny and thank you for joining me for this video. Quick disclaimer, this is obviously not tax or financial advice. I'm not a tax professional, and any concerns or questions you have about your specific situation, you should take it up with a tax professional. Now that that's out the way, let's begin by looking at social security. So as an autónomo or a sole trader, what does social security cover? Well, it generally covers all the things that a salaried worker, so someone who works for a company, would be covered by. So that includes sick pay, maternity, paternity leave, unemployment if your business closes one day. One of the key differences here is that a salaried worker would contribute a small amount of social security every month. However, their employer would pay the majority. In the case of an autónomo, you pay your social security quota every month, and it's you alone that pays it, nobody else. At the time of doing this video, the minimum monthly autónomo quota is about 289 euros per month, and the maximum is about 1,250 euros. Now, for a lot of people, this can seem quite high and can be a concern when setting up a business, especially given that these quotas do need to be paid monthly, regardless of whether you do generate income or not, regardless of how much income you make as well. However, there are two cases in which you can get quite significant reductions on the autónomo quota. The first is if this is your first time signing up as an autónomo in Spain, or if you have previously been an autónomo, but it's been 3 years since the last time you were registered as an autónomo, you can benefit from what's called the tarifa plana. Over the first 12 months on the tarifa plana, you will pay 60 euros per month as your autónomo quota. For the next 6 months, so months 13 to 18, you'll pay about 145 euros per month. Then for the following 18 months, you'll pay about 190 euros per month before going on to the standard quota system. So you have about 3 years where you're paying a reduced price. The other instance is if you are employed by a company and registered as an autónomo at the same time. In Spain, this is known as pluriactivo, which means you have more than one economic activity. And an example of a case might be someone who has a day job and a side hustle that generates them income. So in that case, they would need to be registered as an autónomo. But as a result of them making social security contributions for their employer, they're entitled to contribute slightly less as an autónomo. So instead of paying a minimum of 285, it's cut down to about 117 euros per month. That's if you're pluriactivo. Now that we've covered social security, let's look at income tax a little bit. So as an autónomo, the tax brackets that will apply to you are the same as those that would apply to a salaried worker. Now, I broke this down in the previous video I did where I talked about social security and tax as a salaried worker, but just to give you a quick recap. So the first part of your tax is made up by rates set by the central government of Spain, and that applies across the whole Spanish territory for any income that you generate within Spain. I'll put the table on the screen just so you can have a quick recap. The other half of your income tax will be composed by rates set by the autonomous community in which you live, because they have the right to determine tax brackets on an autonomous community level. And as we saw in the previous video where I gave an example for a salaried worker, someone in Madrid who earns the same amount of money in someone in Catalonia would pay less taxes as a result of the autonomous community taxes set up in both autonomous communities. So I'll leave the link down below to show you what the tax rates are in each autonomous community right now. As an autónomo, your income tax is applied on your profit that you generate from your activity. And that means that certain expenses, legitimate business expenses, are tax deductible in Spain. What kinds of expenses can be considered legitimate business expenses and what expenses are deductible very much depends on the activity you do. But just to give you an idea, for example, a business meal, perhaps travel, if you buy equipment for your business, if you work from home, then you can, of course, deduct some of your utility expenses, these kinds of things. But again, it all depends on your activity that you're doing. And so on the deductible expenses, they will entitle you to income tax credits, which will be taken away from the tax that is ultimately applied. And if it's a VAT transaction, then you may also be exempt from paying the VAT, and you may get the VAT reimbursed by Hacienda as well. From a tax declaration perspective, every Autónomo will make quarterly declarations. The most common form that Autónomos will need to present to the tax authorities here is the Model 130, and it is essentially a summary of your income and expenses for the quarter. And this allows the tax authorities to generate a prediction of your tax bill at the end of the year, so that when the next year comes around and you do the Declaración de la Renta, which is the annual tax declaration, they can come up with a draft. You may need to present the 303 model form as well if you're a business that invoices and is invoiced with VAT, as that also needs to be declared to the tax authorities. And another couple of forms that you may need to declare as well are Model 115. So if you're working out of an office or a premises, a business premises, then you'll need to declare your rent deductions to the tax authorities here as well. And finally, you may also have to present the 349 model. This is for if you are doing business transactions with clients and suppliers in other EU countries, because of course these will be VAT exempt under the current EU tax system. Finally, as an Autónomo, it is essential that you have access to a tax professional who can either do your taxes for you or who can assist you, because it's simply too much work and the Spanish tax system is very complicated to try and navigate on your own, particularly if you're someone new arriving to the country. Now, there's two different types of tax advisors or asesores fiscales that I've seen here in Spain. You have the traditional asesores who maybe work for a company, they have their own setup, and you go to this advisor in person and they can help you with any questions. It's a very one-to-one personalized service, and they will take care of your whole tax situation for you. That can obviously be quite expensive though, particularly if you're operating on a very small scale. So a lower cost alternative are these DIY tax platforms that are coming up, and essentially they allow you to log all your business transactions online, your sales, your costs. They may give you a P&L calculation, they may calculate your taxes for you, they may have an automatic link for you to be able to present your tax declaration in the Agencia Tributaria, and it's a much lower cost alternative, although you won't get the same level of personal service, but you will have access to people who can help you if you have one or two questions. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're looking to move to Spain, if you're in Spain and you're looking to start up your business, then why not leave a comment and tell me a little bit about it? Or if you're already an Autónomo working here for yourself, then why not share your experience in the comments as well. Now, check out these videos if you enjoyed this one, and if you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.